Part 1. The Preface. Replicants are bioengineered humans designed by Tyrell Corporation for use off-world. Their enhanced strength made them ideal for slave labor. After a series of violent rebellions, their manufacture became prohibited, and Tyrell Corporation went bankrupt. The collapse of ecosystems in the mid-2020s led to the rise of industrialist Neander Wallace, whose mastery of synthetic farming averted famine. Wallace acquired the remains of Tyrell Corporation and created a new line of replicants who obey. Many older model replicants, Nexus 8S with open-ended lifespans, survived. They are hunted down and retired. Those that hunt them still go by the name Blade Runner. The movie begins in 2049, in a dystopian California. A replicant detective, Officer K, travels to a farm and lands his shuttle by a dead tree. He gets inside the house of Sapper Morton and waits for him. When Sapper comes in, he tells K that he doesn't like unannounced visitors. It is quickly revealed that Sapper is a replicant who has become a farmer now. Sapper realizes that K is there to take him in. He reaches for his pocket knife and attacks K. A brutal fist fight erupts between the two. K quickly subdues Sapper and scans his civic code engraved under his eye. He then gets his handgun and comes to Sapper. Sapper asks K how it feels to kill his own kind. K responds that they are not the same because his own kind does not run away. When Sapper wants to charge again, K shoots him in the chest and kills him. K reports to his superior, Lieutenant Joshi. He then sees a flower by the dead tree. He commands his drone to scan the area and finds a box buried there. Joshi orders Officer K to return to the base before the storm and says that she will send a dig team to search the box. On his return to the LAPD, K undergoes a post-trauma baseline test to ensure that he is emotionally stable and can continue to perform his duties without interruption. He passes the test and is given a bonus. K goes to his apartment, located in a shady neighborhood. He is welcomed by Joy, a holographic program that serves as his girlfriend. K stitches his wound and takes a shower. He prepares himself a meal and a drink. Joy comes in to comfort and entertain him. K then gives her an emanator, which will allow Joy to go outside the apartment as well. Joy becomes extremely happy, and the first thing they do is go to their rooftop and experience the rain. They both smile and enjoy the moment. Joy then hugs K and buzzes when K receives a message from Joshi about the contents of the box. He is called to duty immediately. K returns to the station, where a forensic expert informs him and Joshi that the box is a military footlocker issued to Sapper Morton. It contains the remains of a dead woman who was buried some 30 years ago. The woman apparently died in childbirth. To the surprise of everyone, K spots a replicant serial number engraved in one of her bones. Joshi tells K to keep this episode a secret, or else chaos will ensue. Joshi then orders K to erase everything, including the child. K then says that he has not retired a person that is born, and when Joshi asks the difference, he says that things born may have a soul. Joshi then tells K that he has been doing fine without a soul. K goes to the Wallace Corporation's headquarters to identify the replicant. The file clerk tells him that not much has remained from the pre-blackout days as most data was erased. He nevertheless finds a file on the dead replicant, but tells K that it is fractured. The dead woman was a standard-issue replicant from the Tyrell Corporation before creating replicants was prohibited. Wallace's replicant assistant Love meets K and tells him that a 30-year-old file is finally closed. Love takes K to an archive and plays a recorded message from the replicant's memory. The replicant was Rachel, and the man she is heard speaking to is Rick Deckard. Love states that to many, it was not clear whether Rachel was a real person or a replicant. K finds Deckard's old partner, Gaff. He inquires about Deckard so as to find a clue that would lead him to the child born to Rachel. Gaff tells K that Deckard wanted to work alone like him, and that since he has retired, there is no way to contact him. Love takes Wallace to inspect a new female replicant that his corporation has produced. A blind Wallace uses cybernetic implants in his neck to interact with various computers and see through miniature camera units. Wallace calls his replicants angels and acknowledges that there were once bad angels. However, he makes good angels that have helped humanity go to 9 new worlds. Wallace, with biblical references, says that he needs to produce more replicants than his corporation can manage to retake Eden. He finds the new replicant barren, with no capacity to reproduce, and cuts through her stomach, so that he can figure out Tyrell's trick of creating replicants that can reproduce, technology that was lost when replicant reproduction was prohibited. A replicant named Freysa tells 3 human prostitutes that K has killed Sapper. She instructs them to find out what K knows. Approaching K, they find that he is not interested in any of them. Mariette stays behind to chat with K, but he doesn't pay her any attention. Mariette leaves, telling him that she is always there if he needs her. Part 2. Finding Rachel's Child. Kay visits Sapper's place and looks around his house for clues. He finds a baby's sock and Rachel's picture with her baby under the dead tree where her bones were found. He goes to the tree and finds a date written down at the base of the tree. This triggers a memory involving a wooden toy horse. Meanwhile, Love gets into the police's forensics lab to collect Rachel's bones. When Coco confronts her, she kills him by chopping the back of his neck. An anxious Joshi tells this to Kay and asks him if he has found anything for her. Kay provides her with the socks and the date. Joshi asks Kay if he remembers anything before working for her. Kay responds that his memories are implants, not real. Joshi nevertheless insists on hearing one of them. Kay then recalls a memory from when he was a child. The memory concerns a wooden toy and a bunch of kids chasing after Kay. Instead of giving the kids the toy, he hides it in a dim furnace and allows them to abuse him. Later, Kay goes to a DNA base and searches for any kids born on the date he found out at Sapper's place. He looks for anomalies, trying to figure out who the kid might be. He activates Joy, who tells him that he didn't tell the whole story to Joshi. Joy refers to Kay's memory of the wooden horse and the date. She says that maybe Kay is born of a woman and therefore an actual human. Kay claims that it might be a risky coincidence, and if it were true, Blade Runners would pursue him for the rest of his life. He finds out that there were a boy and a girl born on that date, with identical DNAs which he perceives to be impossible. He concludes that one of them should not be real but a mere copy. Kay finds out from the record that the girl died of a genetic disorder and the boy disappeared from the orphanage. Approaching the then orphanage, now a junkyard, Kay's shuttle is attacked by scavengers. They hook a kite into Kay's shuttle, which gets hit by lightning. A group of scavengers attack Kay. He breaks the back of the first attacker and shoots a few of them. More and more scavengers come to the scene, which puts Kay in a precarious situation. Before they could attack Kay, Love bombards them with missiles, killing scores of them. With the scavengers dead, Kay stands up to proceed with what he came for. A cautious Kay proceeds and finds a group of children in an orphanage. He finds that it is actually a workshop run by Mr. Cotton through child labor. Kay demands that Cotton provide him with records from 30 years ago, and when Cotton denies the existence of such records, Kay breaks his nose. Cotton leads Kay to the so-called orphanage, from which he has scattered memories. Cotton brings him the records, and he finds out that the entire year in question has been ripped off. He then proceeds towards the furnace from his memories, and finds the toy horse with the same date written on its hoof. Back at his apartment, Joy reinforces the possibility that he is an actual human. He is still skeptical and questions how he would be sure if his memories were not implanted. Kay visits Dr. Anna Stelline, a memory designer working as a subcontractor for the Wallace Corporation. Kay questions how one can differentiate between a real memory and an implant. Anna says that while most think that it has to do with details, to her it has to do with emotions. A real memory is messy and invokes emotions. Anna asks Kay to think of a memory so that she can study if it is real or an implant. While Kay does so, Anna starts sobbing. Anna confirms that the memory is real and that someone has lived it. Kay breaks down and shouts that he knows it is real. Part 3. Who is Kay? Leaving Anna's lab, Kay is arrested by the LAPD and taken to undergo the baseline test again. However, he fails this time. Joshi tells Kay that he was miles away from his baseline. Kay then informs her that he found the kid. He adds that he killed the kid. A relieved Joshi helps Kay live another 2 days and get another baseline test. However, the next test would be out of her hands. Kay returns home and tells Joy that she was right about everything. She signals Kay to remain quiet as Mariette walks in. Joy has invited Mariette to come over so that she may sink herself to Mariette's body for Kay to enjoy a more authentic experience with her. Kay gets intimate with a synchronized Joy. He kisses her passionately and sleeps with her. Mariette then plants a tracking device in Kay's jacket before leaving. Kay tells Joy that they will come after him. She asks to go with him and tells Kay to delete her memories from the console lest the police or Blade Runners get hold of them. She asks Kay to put her in the emanator. Kay and Joy take the toy horse to an expert to find out where the wood came from. The expert tells them that it comes from a place with strong radiation. Love goes to Joshi's office and questions her over Kay's whereabouts. Joshi tells her that he is off duty and informs her that Rachel's child is retired. Joshi pours herself a drink, which Love crushes in her hands. Love then stabs her to death, for she knows that Joshi is not telling her the truth. Love then uses Joshi's computer to locate Kay. Kay goes to the ruins of Las Vegas. He scans the area with his drone and then walks in. He finds a large beehive. He then enters a large building abandoned a long time ago and guarded by booby traps. He sees a dog staring at him and then hears Deckard's voice from behind. Aiming his gun at Kay, Deckard asks what Kay is doing there. Kay says that he is there to ask him a few questions. Deckard then pulls the trigger, but Kay jumps down the hall. Deckard follows the footprints of Kay. Kay moves but detonates a booby trap. Kay hides in a room that features holographic projections of Elvis Presley and Marilyn Monroe. Deckard shoots again, but misses Kay. Kay attacks Deckard and blocks his punches. He throws Deckard on a sofa and says that he doesn't want to hurt him. Deckard, however, is not convinced and punches Kay multiple times. Kay doesn't block them, and finally Deckard stops. Deckard then offers Kay a drink. Kay asks Deckard what his wife's name was and what she was like. Deckard finally says that her name was Rachel. Deckard says that he left the child at the orphanage out of fear of what someone like Wallace would do to his child if they found out how he was born. Deckard's security system detects intruders. Having located Kay, Love arrives at the scene with her army. Before Deckard and Kay could run away in their shuttle, a missile hit it, injuring both of them. Two of Love's agents take Deckard. He fights with them and punches them one after another. However, he is subdued rather quickly. Kay grabs a gun from one of the agents and kills 3 of them. Love gets in and beats an injured Kay. She then crushes Joy's emanator, thereby erasing her forever, and leaves Kay for dead. They leave with Deckard. Part 4. The Miracle of Reproduction. Kay is found by the Replicant Freedom Movement team through the tracking device that Mariette planted in his jacket. Freysia meets with Kay and tells him that she was there when Rachel's child was born. Freysia invites Kay to join their revolution against the tyranny of Wallace and his corporation. To Freysia, the birth of Rachel's child means that they are more than slaves, and more humans than humans. Freysia then reveals that Rachel had a girl, who she will show to the world when the time comes. Kay sadly realizes that the child must be Anna, and that his memories were actually hers, making him a replicant. Freysia tells Kay that they should prevent Wallace from learning about them, even if it means killing Deckard. Deckard is brought to the Wallace Corporation. He is received by Wallace himself, who demands to know where his child is so that he can find the key to replicant reproduction. Wallace brings Rachel's skull to Deckard and plays the first conversation he had with Rachel. Wallace then tells Deckard that has he ever thought that he was brought in to meet Rachel for the very objective of him falling in love with her. The idea was to get Rachel pregnant to create a perfect specimen. Wallace then brings in a replicant who looks and behaves like Rachel to get Deckard's cooperation in finding his child. Deckard looks at the replicant and tells Wallace that her eyes were green. Love then executives Rachel's copy. Wallace then threatens to torture Deckard until he gives him the information he needs. Love takes Deckard to one of Wallace's off-world outposts to torture him. Kay tracks Love's shuttle and intervenes. He shoots down 2 of Love's shuttles and kills one of the pilots of the shuttle with Love and Deckard. The flight pod crushes into a body of water. Kay lands his shuttle by Love's and starts shooting at her. He kills the other pilot. Getting by the shuttle, he hits Love but gets shot in the stomach as well. Love jumps at an injured Kay. She kicks Kay and beats him severely. Kay finds his chance and punches her hard in the chest. Love gets back and attacks Kay with a knife. She stabs Kay and kisses him before he collapses. Back in the shuttle, Deckard is about to get drowned. Love approaches Deckard when Kay appears and chokes her. He gains the upper hand and drowns Love. He then pulls Deckard out. They both swim to the shore alive. He tells Deckard that he drowned there and is now free to meet his daughter. Kay takes Deckard to Anna's lab. He hands the toy horse to Deckard as a present for Anna. As Deckard walks inside, Kay lies down on the steps, looking up at the falling snow. He knows that his wounds are fatal. Deckard comes to Anna's workstation and stares in astonishment as he sees his daughter for the first time. Part 5. The Verdict. This movie is not your usual reboot or long-delayed sequel where the themes and characters of the original are remixed to please its fan base. It is therefore an ambitious effort, and rightly so, to continue the conversation of the original Blade Runner. Given that, this movie dwells on and expands on some deeply philosophical questions and turns out to be one of the most challenging science fiction movies of all time. Its direction and visuals are of the highest order. One could argue that the visuals in particular are mind-boggling and are there to trigger awe at the idea of a post-human future. It also brings forth the imagination of a world that is wrecked of our current human forms. This was our recap and verdict. Tell us what you liked or disliked about this movie. Let us know in the comment section what movie we should recap next. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to be notified when we upload new videos and enjoy watching.